Hello guys and gals, Buffalo here. I'm back out here again today with the Henry garden gun. I don't like to do two videos on the same gun back to back, but you guys had a lot of questions in that video I posted last week, so I want to answer some of those and clarify some of the things I said. I shot a piece of tin, roofing tin, in that video last week at 30 feet because by my estimations, 30 feet is about the maximum useful range of this garden gun. Remember, the garden gun is a smooth bore 22 with no rifling, meant to shoot the shot shells, whether they're the crimped type or the CCI bubble type that we're using. But I set that tin up at 30 feet to demonstrate that if you missed a shot inside of a barn or some other type of structure, that it wouldn't even hurt the tin roof. If you hit the tin roof at 30 feet, it just kind of sprinkled it a little bit. But some of you guys wanted to know how close I'd have to be to the tin to blast through it. So let's start out with that. Okay, so I've got the piece of roofing tin, and that's just a piece of roofing metal like you might find on a house or any other structure. But I've got it set up here at 10 feet away. Let's see what the pattern looks like on that piece of tin at only 10 feet away. So at 10 feet, we did punch through it. There's a hole in the middle. It looks like the plastic capsule went through it. All around it where the shot hit did not penetrate, but at 10 feet it will go through tin, so there's no use bringing it any closer. The point was at its maximum range, what I considered its maximum range. It was pretty safe if you accidentally hit something on down the line. That was the point I was trying to make in that last video. It wasn't that you could just shoot tin, your roof at any distance, and it was going to be fine. So at 10 feet, we know that it can puncture. It might not do it every time, but it certainly did this time. So hopefully that answers that question. Let's move on. Someone asked me to break these open and show you guys what was inside. And that's number 12 birdshot. It's 1/15 ounce. I think I misspoke and called it 1/5 ounce in that video last week. Sorry about that. It's just part of it. I can't edit the video once it's uploaded. So if I say something stupid sometimes, I got to live with it. But it's 1/15 ounce. Not very much shot there. And that bubble cap, I just broke it open just so you could see the shot that was inside. Now, if you want to see how this stuff patterns, watch that last video. I'll put it in a link to it in the description of this video. Go check it out. That's not what today's video is about. I'm just answering some of the questions that I got in the comments of that other video. So this gun is marked right on the barrel, 22 LR smooth bore for use with 22 LR shot shells only. Just wanted to make that clear, and I'm going to do this for demonstration purposes, but I have to recommend that you don't use bullets in this gun either. It's not rifled. It's not meant to shoot bullets. But the comment section, I have never been hit with the same comment over and over and over and over and over so many times. In that last video, people wanting to see if you could shoot an actual bullet through this thing instead of the shot shells. Now Henry's got it marked here, clearly don't do it. But what it is that bullet's not going to stabilize. There's no rifling in this barrel. It's meant for the shot shells. It's not going to stabilize the bullet. Someone was commenting that it would be like a shotgun slug. You can shoot a shotgun slug and they're stable. Well, shotgun slugs, like a Foster slug, they're designed to be shot into a smooth bore. They have stabilization built into the slug itself. The mechanics of the slug itself is going to provide a little rotation. They've got a weight forward design to help keep them from tumbling. They're designed from the ground up to be shot into a smooth bore. A 22 bullet, 22 LR bullet, let's say a 40 grain bullet like I've got loaded in here, this is a Blazer ammunition I've got loaded up, is designed to be stabilized by the rifling of the barrel, of course. It's not going to stabilize on its own. So what you'll end up with is a very inaccurate bullet once you get very far away from the target. I'm pretty close to these targets here, so I should be able to hit them. And I think that's what you guys were getting at least most of you. You were saying, well, what if I needed to load a bullet instead of a shot shell and dispatch maybe a rabid raccoon where a shot shell might not be enough, or you didn't want to get that close to it. Maybe you wanted to be 30 feet and shoot it with a solid bullet instead of just peppering it with those little number 12 bird shots. But otherwise, you weren't going to ever use the gun. You didn't plan on using the gun for bullets. Just, you wanted to know if occasionally you might could use one, and I think you can. You would be, if you're going to shoot bullets, mostly far better off get the H001 model. It's got that rifled barrel. It's a very accurate lever action. But if you're just going to shoot a bullet occasionally, I could see doing that out of the garden gun. And just the opposite with the H001. If you're only going to shoot a shot shell occasionally, but you're mostly going to shoot bullets, get the H001. But here's the garden gun smoothbore. I've got 15 rounds of Blazer 40 grain lead bullets loaded up. So, runs through them just fine at close range. Obviously, you know, this is maybe 10 yards. You could definitely finish off a rabid raccoon at 10 yards and not have to worry about the poor accuracy showing up that you're going to get at, say, 25, 30 yards. It's just going to get very hard to make hits with it. All right, so let's put 5 of those Blazers on a paper target and see what they look like. I'm at about 16, 17 yards from that paper target. All right, so I didn't hit the target any. But look at this. These big holes, these big long holes, that's called keyholing. That's a result of the bullet tumbling. It's just not stable. And I mean, that's a foot group at 16, 17 yards. So even, you know, I'm not the greatest shooter out there, but you know, I can do better than that. You guys have seen me do better than that before. But those bullets are just tumbling. There's no way that it can get any accuracy with it flipping those bullets out the barrel like that. But you guys asked, and I wanted to show you. Still, an occasional one could be useful, just not something you want to fool with very often, or at more than 10 yards probably. I also had some comments asking if it would cycle the crimped style of bird shot. And it will. I'll demonstrate that in a second. These are the Federal Game Shock version. These actually have just a little less shot in them. These have 25 grains of number 12 lead shot, whereas the bubble-tipped CCI we were using had 31 grains. And I have patterned these side by side. There's not a whole lot of difference in the pattern, but the CCI does tend to pattern a little better out of this particular gun. As far as cycling the crimp style goes, I've got 15 rounds loaded up in here. It will cycle them. Cycles them just fine, no problems at all, and it patterns pretty good with them, almost as well as the CCI, but just not quite. So I think I answered every question that I got in the comment section of that last video. Guys, I want you to know I read every one of your comments. I might not get a chance to reply to every single one of them. There's just so many, and that's a good problem to have. But I do read each and every one of those comments, and I appreciate it. Those comments that you leave help boost my videos and the algorithm as far as coming up in search functions and things like that. If someone searches for a gun that I did a video on and it's got a ton of comments, it's more likely to show up in that search feature. So I appreciate that. I appreciate all the likes too. I never ask for likes. I figure if you guys like a video, you'll hit the like button. If you don't, you won't. That's the way I do it when I'm watching a video. So I don't get out here and say, oh, please like this video. It's just not my style to do it that way. But this is a great little gun. Never had any problems with it whatsoever. Runs just as smooth as a clock. These garden guns are marketed for a very specific need. I'm sure you guys have figured that out between the last two videos. You know, if you've got a dairy farm, a milk house, you know, you've got a big barn somewhere, or you're at a stockyards, you run a stockyards, pest control with something like this is very, very handy. Even if you've just got a garden, just like the garden gun name says. So it's not marketed for everybody. This gun's not for everyone. But I applaud Henry for making a gun that they know is not marketed for everybody. It's going to fill a niche, and you know, good for them for doing that. A lot of gun companies won't market a gun unless they think they can, you know, it'll have broad appeal to the mass market. So good for Henry. You know, I like Henry products. I'm sure that's come across in my videos. I'm not a Henry salesman. I'm not a salesman for any gun. I'm not here to talk you guys into buying a gun. I know some of you guys know that, but if you don't, that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to show you the gun's capabilities and then give you my opinion on that, on everything else. And pretty much everything I do is just my opinion. Take it with a grain of salt. But I do get comments sometimes, not on the Henry garden gun video, but on some of my other videos and they're meant to be a dig at me. They'll say, I was going to buy this gun until I saw your stupid video or whatever. And I'm okay with that. I'm happy about that. Shouldn't you be? If I showed you something about a gun that you didn't realize before and you didn't like that, and now you're not going to buy the gun, you're not going to spend your hard-earned money on something you don't like because of a video I posted, you'd think you'd be happy about that. I'm certainly happy to help you with that. But starting to ramble a little bit now. I'm going to bring this video to a close. Thank you to all my Patreon members. I think I'm up to 69 Patreon members now, which is just, that's hard for me to believe that there are 69 people out there willing to back this channel with money, you know, $1 a month. Many of you guys are doing more than that, but $1 a month, and that adds up. That's what's keeping this channel rolling. I am very humbled that many people are interested in helping this small channel out. That being said, thank you to all my subscribers. Thank you guys for sharing my videos. The channel's doing good. I feel like for the first time in a long time that my channel is actually healthy again. Could be just because of the time of year. A lot of people are stuck inside and, you know, watching YouTube and things like that. But everything, all my metrics are looking good for once, for the first time in a long time. So that being said, I'll talk with you guys again soon.